But either one of those takes nutrition, right? To drive 200 miles an hour, you got to have circuits up here. And to get screwed to death, you've got to really be good at it, you know? So here's an interesting little factoid for you. This one might stand you up in your chair. How much time have I got? Well, you know, I get a little wound up. I also get pissed off. If I swear, excuse me. I get pissed off. I can't believe the kind of shit that's going on. I mean, we have so many scientists and so many doctors that know this shit. We're swimming in them. Our universities are swimming in them. The drug manufacturers, they know all this stuff. This is just because this makes people healthy, and healthy people don't buy drugs and they don't buy crap supplements, right? I'm here to tell you, don't chase your damn tail. Eat good food and put your money where it belongs. It belongs supporting farmers. Do you know that the #1 rate of suicide today is among small farmers? Because the large conglomerates are selling you potatoes and carrots so damn cheap they can't even begin to compete with you. They can't pay their mortgages. And the large farming conglomerates, of which there's 5 that produce 90% of the food in the world, and by the way, as an ex-paratrooper, let me tell you, get nervous when 5 companies control 90% of your food supply. You don't need to be a genius to figure that one out, okay? When the Romans used to capture other countries, the first thing they did is they sent the soldiers out, and guess what they made the soldiers do? Salt the fields. Salt the fields. What do commercial farmers do? Salt the fields with NPK fertilizer. Why did the Romans want to salt the fields? So the farmers couldn't grow food. They had to come to the Romans, the government, to get the food and to get the seeds and to know when they wanted to control farming, because if you control farming, you control food. You control food, you control people. And you guys are about to be massively controlled. 5 companies produce 90% of your food. That should make you very nervous. Okay, and this should make you even more nervous. The average American farming family depletes 7,000 of acres of land every 100 years. We're literally running out of farmland, and consider that by the year 2030 there will be 10 billion people on this planet. That's scary stuff. Current research shows the next world war will probably be fought over water. Only 1% of all the water in the world is drinkable by humans. We're running out. Have you noticed the price of water lately? Did you know that Nestle just bought out Avion? You know, the big food companies, the same large food companies that run your nutrition programs in your universities, that have their hands in the chemical pile, that have their hands in the drug pile, are buying up all the water supplies right now. And they're raping your soil. And soon they'll be feeding. Did you ever see that movie, that sci-fi movie, Soylent Green? That's some serious shit if you know this stuff, right? Put your money where it belongs, in the hands of small organic farmers. We've got to rebuild our soils or we're dead. Your wallet is the most powerful vote. Leave nothing to George Bush except tilling soils. That's what he's good at. But you notice he doesn't use a rototiller, he uses Scud missiles and all that other stuff, right? George has expensive soil tillers. The problem is he doesn't know how to farm for a damn. So he goes over to other people's countries, tears the hell out of the place in the name of terrorism, which is a crock of shit. The largest terrorist organization in the world is the United States, for God's sakes. Do a little homework. I mean, I can talk about power cleans if you want, but... What good's a power clean when you're so damn tired you can't put your socks on? 4 to 6% of the organic, 4 to 6% is normal. So a healthy organic farm would have 4 to 6% organic matter in the soil, or humus. Remember, humus, human? Commercially farmed fields today on average range between 0 and 1.5. Sand is 0. So when you plant plants in soil that's down to 0 to 1.5%, remember, why do beggars eat out of garbage cans? Because they have to. So when you eat that stuff, you're eating plants that have sucked all the toxins and garbage out of the soil because they have no choice if they're going to survive. And we're ruining the soils. I took this picture. This is a very interesting picture. When you drive into El Centro, California, from out of the desert between Arizona and California, as you come into the farmlands, look, this is what you see. The desert is butted right up against the farmlands. And as we ruin more and more farmland, the desert gets bigger and bigger. Do a little homework. Any of you ever studied the geography of deserts? What's happening with deserts all over the world right now? Are they growing or shrinking? They're growing like crazy. You know what that means? We got farmers, and we got the greenhouse effect, and we got growing deserts, and we got 5 companies that own 90% of your food, and we got a bunch of synthetic vitamins that don't do a damn thing for you. As a matter of fact, research shows that they often make you sterile, tired, and they're processed by your liver just like a drug. So forecast the future, and remember, you vote with your wallet. George ain't going to help you, and if you don't like George, remember, your military is about the size of my left little finger, so we could fit you on one of our aircraft carriers. Okay, so our natural heritage. Einstein says to learn about health, you must study health. What a concept, right? To learn about health, you got to study health. Like, we spent billions on researching cancer. What do we have? Sicker, more and more drugs, a bunch of dying people. 50% of people spend their life savings in the last 5 days of their life in the hospital. Chemo and radiation therapy on average is about 4% effective, but they don't tell you that, right? Because it's a big money maker. So we must begin now to study health, for soon there will be no recollection of what health means, and that's happening already. My wife and I are constantly amazed as we travel around the world. If you go to London, England right now, in the summertime actually, you will see kids, and Sydney, Australia, you will see kids that are so fat, and they're walking around in 2-piece bathing suits, and I swear to God, these people must have never seen a shiny piece of glass, because it is scary, okay? These people are walking around, and kids now are so fat and so obese and so unhealthy, they don't even know what health looks like. These kids, they just don't even know that they're fat. They don't even know that that's not what Adam and Eve were supposed to look like, right? That's what we're getting to. People don't even know what health is. I've had oodles of patients that came back to me when they went and saw a doctor for their back pain, their neck pain, or whatever, and the doctor says, "What'd you expect? You're 35, you're getting old." 35. I'm 44, and I can outlift and outrun almost every athlete I've ever trained, even to this day. And my son, who's 26, still cannot beat me in a wrestling match or anything, and I'm waiting for him to try again, okay? Why? Not because I do anything magic. You look at me, I don't use any steroids. I mean, the last thing I can afford is shrinkage. So we have to answer the $1.5 trillion question. It might interest you to know that's what the United States spends every year on medical expenses alone. The United States medical system is the largest taxpayer of all American businesses. If we were to shut down the American Medical Association today, we would not be able to afford cruise missiles, smart bombs, and our military would probably be laid off. That might interest you, since you know where all the money's going. Hey, why do you think it costs Bill $900 a cigar, and the seat that I saw a report one time, the toilet seat in the jet that the president's flying, just the toilet seat was $900. They had to replace the toilets, cost them $900, right? Well, give me a break. Okay, so $1.5 trillion question. How did we survive 2.8 million years of evolution without doctors, therapists, nutritionists, medical drugs, and have far better health than we do now? Now, a lot of people say, oh, that's not true. We used to die early. Hey, guess what? That's a bunch of BS. The medical system wants you to think that. You have to look at what's called age-adjusted statistics, because when you take all the people out that are saved by emergency medicine today, when you take all the people out that are being kept alive on iron lungs and kidney dialysis, when you take all the people that in old folks' homes that should have died a long time ago, when you take all the people that should have died at birth but emergency medicine saved their life, Mother Nature would have recycled them, take all the people that should have died in automotive and industrial accidents and do the math, and guess what? We're living 1.5 years longer than we did on average in 1840. And all of that is attributed to sanitation improvements, every bit of it. So we're not doing better at all. We're going backwards, but they don't want to tell you the truth because it's too expensive for you to do that.